賢明だな、トルフィン。こいつは生けとる。
Welcome back to Vinland Saga Season 2. At the start of episode 14, we begin our newest look into the Viking world. As Arnheid comes into view, Gardar experiences a sudden realization that they've arrived at Ketil's farm. He can hardly believe that she is so close to him, and he feels a rush of excitement mixed with nerves. Taking in her appearance, he can't help but think that she is even more stunning than he remembered. As they exchange greetings, Gardar's mind starts racing with questions about his old friend Hijalti. He wonders how he's been doing and how much he has grown since they last saw each other. Despite his eagerness to catch up with Hijalti, he can't deny that he's thrilled to be in Arnheid's company once again. Without hesitation, Gardar extends his hand to Arnheid, inviting her to join him on horseback as they make their way back home. Snake strides forward as he confronts Arnheid and Gardar. With a menacing tone, he warns Arnheid not to touch Gardar or face the consequences. The tension mounts as Fox and Badger join the fray, their eyes locked on the dangerous situation unfolding before them. Gardar, sensing the imminent danger, lunges towards Arnheid, but Snake is quick to act. With a swift stroke, he slashes the throat of Gardar's horse, sending the animal crashing to the ground in a spray of blood. As Arnheid stands frozen with fear, Snake seizes her and hands her over to Fox, instructing him to take her to safety. In a low voice, Snake quizzes Fox about the rumors of Gardar's involvement in Lizard's death. Fox nods, confirming the heinous act, and Snake's grip on his sword tightens. Gardar's eyes flash with anger as he accuses Snake of being Ketil, but the mysterious stranger remains unfazed. With a cool detachment, Snake wonders aloud what he would do if he were indeed Ketil, causing Gardar's rage to boil over. Arnheid, desperate to stop the violence, cries out for Gardar to halt, but it is Einar who steps forward, brandishing his axe. Thorfinn intervenes, cautioning against hasty actions, but Einar is resolute in his determination to free Arnheid from Gardar's grasp. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Who has the most realistic fighting skills in anime? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now, back to the video. Thorfinn challenges Einar, questioning whether he is truly prepared to take a life. Einar hesitates, uncertain of his next move, but Snake applauds Thorfinn's wisdom in choosing to avoid bloodshed. With a cunning gleam in his eye, Snake announces his intention to capture Gardar alive, to extract the truth about his identity and his involvement in Lizard's death. As the battle between Gardar and Snake intensifies, Snake's agility allows him to dodge all of Gardar's attacks with ease. However, Fox chimes in, urging Snake to end it all and put Gardar out of his misery, since he's not worth keeping alive. Snake is taken aback by Fox's comment, but his focus quickly returns to the fight. He wonders if any of their strikes landed on Gardar, but Fox quickly shuts that notion down, confirming that none of them connected. Despite his injury, Gardar continues his relentless assault on the trio, leaving Snake bewildered as to how they could have lost to a wounded opponent. But Snake doesn't let his thoughts distract him, instead using his cunning to anticipate Gardar's next move. With a swift motion, Snake strikes Gardar's wound with the blunt side of his blade, causing the attacker to drop to his knees in agony. Seeing his chance, Snake delivers another blow to the back of Gardar's head, rendering him unconscious. Taking charge of the situation, Snake orders Badger to tie up Gardar. After securely tying Gardar up, Badger and Fox swiftly remove him from the scene while Gardar continues to yell Arnheid's name in desperation. As they make their way to their destination, Snake instructs Fox to have a watchful eye on Gardar and to ensure that 5 men are always monitoring him. Additionally, Snake tasks Fox with informing Jalakar's uncle about their recent capture. While Einar remains a slave, his intuition tells him that there is more to the situation than meets the eye. However, Snake dismisses Einar's opinion, as he believes that a slave's viewpoint holds no value. Einar's curiosity is piqued, and he wonders whether they can release Gardar, but Snake reminds him of the grave accusations against Gardar. He murdered one of their own and is suspected of killing others as well. Furthermore, Gardar intends to harm Ketil and abduct Arnheid, who belongs to Ketil. Hence, it is not possible to let Gardar go free. Snake firmly instructs Arnheid to forget about Gardar, as he is no longer her husband. Instead, he is a runaway slave who lost his mind and is no longer worthy of her love or attention. Before leaving the scene, Snake leaves a message for Thorfinn and the others, reminding them to look after Sverkel. Later on, as time passes, Einar can't seem to stay calm any longer. His anxiety builds up, causing him to stand up abruptly and declare his intentions to go rescue Gardar from whatever peril he may be facing. However, Arnheid intervenes, telling him to stay put and reminding him that dinner is almost ready. Despite Einar's protests, Arnheid holds firm, explaining that some things can't be changed and it's better to wait it out. Einar suggests that they could attempt a rescue mission at night, but Arnheid insists that it's not worth the risk. She doesn't want to involve Einar any further as it could put him in danger, but Einar persists, his concern for his friend driving him forward. Arnheid reveals that she loves Gardar, and while their marriage was arranged, he was always kind to her and her son. Sadly, she lost her son due to POTS, a tragedy that still haunts her to this day. With a heavy heart, she confides in Einar, telling him more about her past. Arnheid begins by explaining that her family lived in a small village in Sweden and they led a peaceful life. However, when her son turned 1, a marsh containing iron was discovered deep in a distant forest, leading to a conflict among various groups vying for ownership of the marsh. Interestingly, Gardar's friend was also among those involved in the dispute, and he requested Gardar's help. This news quickly spread throughout the village, and the men began discussing whether or not they should join the fight. After much deliberation, the men ultimately decided to fight for control of the iron, which caught the woman by surprise. They already had plenty of pots and sickle blades, so they didn't understand why their husbands and sons were putting themselves in harm's way. Arnheid tries to dissuade Gardar from participating, but he insisted that if Ingva of the West obtained the iron, it would upset the balance of power in the region. Weeks passed, and the men left to fight for the marsh. However, to the shock of the women, ships arrived instead of their husbands returning. These ships were not friendly, as other Vikings had arrived and proceeded to kill the elderly, burn the houses, and take the women as captives. To make matters worse, Arnheid's son, Hijalti, was also taken from her. Reflecting on the events of the past, Arnheid admits that when she saw Gardar again, she was afraid of him. She believes that all the suffering he went through changed him in some way. However, this time around, she is determined to protect her child at all costs. In fact, she recently discovered that she is pregnant with Ketil's child, and she hopes to raise this new addition to the family peacefully on their farm. As a result, she makes a request to Einar to not do anything. But as promised, today's shoutout is Mendigo Menace commenting on our Dororo video. They said, "This channel deserves more views. Thank you so much for the support. Now, back to the drama." At nightfall, Arnheid picks up a bucket and rag, preparing to depart. However, Sverkel interjects, reminding her of her earlier declaration to wait and take no action. Despite this, Arnheid is resolute in her desire to tend to Sverkel's wounds. She understands the potential consequences of seeing him, but is drawn to his side nonetheless. Sverkel shares a story from 2 decades ago, where Ketil, a man in love with a village girl, was forced to make a heart-wrenching decision. As a man named Ebbe from a neighboring village also vied for the girl's affection and grew in power, the village's inhabitants feared being eradicated by him. Consequently, they surrendered, much to Ketil's dismay. On the day of the girl's wedding, tragedy struck as a jealous man envious of Ebbe's wealth attacked and killed him, burning down the village in the process. Sverkel recounts the devastation he witnessed when he arrived too late and discovered the girl was dead. Arnheid laments the repetitiveness of such senseless violence. Sverkel offers a sobering truth. Even if one decides to wait, they will inevitably bear scars. Sverkel expresses his regret at being unable to assist Arnheid in her plight. Arnheid leaves, promising to return soon. What will happen next? Find out on our next recap of Vinland Saga Season 2.